What lurks in humankind's innermost self? What chasms open when deep-felt emotions are enticed to the surface? The greatest fear, the unbridled anger. The opening of Tower Bridge is the talk of all London these days. The year 1894 will be one remembered for this. A magnificent achievement, taking many years of labor, and which many have said could become the city's most famous landmark. The interest surrounding Tower Bridge hid London's dark secret. An epidemic spreading across the city was taking an ever-increasing number of lives. It appears to just affect the poorer parts of the city, and it only kills adults, not children. No one had ever experienced anything like this before. There was no cure. Few physicians dared venture into the parts of London deemed affected by the epidemic, and the civic leaders appeared to be just waiting for the problem to go away. Just let them die, they said behind closed doors. And it was not just they who thought like that. But not so Dr. Jekyll. He ignored the celebrations surrounding the opening of Tower Bridge, and he blatantly disregarded all warnings from his fellow medics. He tirelessly helped those affected by the epidemic, demanding no money in return. This disease had awoken his pride. He wanted to defeat it. Spending hour upon hour in the laboratory at home, I did not see him for days on end. My orders were to leave his meals in front of the door and to knock, collecting the dirty dishes later on. I heard crashing, hissing, and his wild murmurings. Nothing was to disturb him. These days, I was his only contact with the outside world. And then he was off, venturing through the epidemic-ridden parts of the city again. He treated the sick, questioned, searched, but for all his efforts, he was unable to track down the source of the epidemic. Was it the wrath of God? Some of the loud mouths at Speaker's Corner were even calling it the first sign of Armageddon. Dr. Jekyll's despair had increased to desperate proportions when he came out of his laboratory, completely exhausted one evening and slumped by the fire. He confided in me that he was not making any progress in developing a healing potion. He feared he would never succeed. The future is written in the stars, is what I told him. I just wanted to cheer him up, but the attempt was not a success. I never suspected then how accurate my statement would prove, even though it was different to anything I could ever have imagined. I also never imagined that the doctor's excursions would lead him to the love of his life. He had always hated London's high society balls and lavish celebrations. That is where he encountered her for the first time. However, they only truly found each other while helping poor orphaned children. She was his light. What lurks in man's inner being? Perhaps eternal good, or maybe a monster. Perhaps it is also something completely unexpected. Most of us will never find out because we are unable to look into our innermost self, or unwilling. Dr. Jekyll dared to look.
Oh, dear Lord. What is that? Who's there?
I do apologize, Miss Cunningham. I didn't wish to startle you.
Henry. I thought... Not here. Not now.
You're right. Let us go in.
More are brought in every day. The epidemic is spreading in ever wider circles, especially in this quarter.
And the children are still remaining unaffected?
Yes. Only adults seem afflicted. How is your potion progressing?
I'm just not making any progress. The new mixture. I must still test it.
On whom?
On myself, of course. I have no choice.
You're testing it on yourself? But that could be...
I know. It could be dangerous. But time is short, and... However, that's not why I've come. Where are our little patients?
Here. You've helped us greatly. I don't know how we're going to thank you.
There is no need. Anne, have you not spoken with your father about us?
No, not yet. He's constantly entreating me to accept Rufus de Lombard's offer of marriage. It's quite intolerable. I will never agree. Please. When will I see you again?
I must continue working on the potion before it is too late. And talk to your father. I no longer want this to be a secret.
Yes, my dearest, I agree. I too have no appetite for this secret, but he will be angry. He talks of nothing but securing my future. The Lombard family is so terribly rich.
I know, and I am not. Is this it? Have I done it? This mixture, could it cure the epidemic? It could also just as easily bring death. I cannot experiment any longer. Months have passed. Lost time. I should have resolved. So many are already dead, taken by the epidemic. This could be the remedy for all London. Yet before I give it to a patient, I must be satisfied that it will not harm anyone.
Oh, I feel... What is this? These thoughts, they are not my own. They do not belong to me. What was that? I was no longer me. Or was I? It must be the potion's doing. I must find out more. But where is he? What have I done whilst I...
Sir! Is everything all right with you? Are you in there, Dr. Jekyll?
Coltrane. Yes, it is I. Everything is fine. Everything is just fine.
Should I come in, sir?
No! I have not yet concluded my experiments.
As you wish, sir. I will just return to my duties then. Please ring if you need me, sir.
My old bicycle. I never really mastered the art of riding it. This old painting originates from the previous owner of the house, Lord Gracia. As far as I know, this person is a distant relative of Lord Gracia. The door. I was in the yard. It must have shut behind me when The potion. I must have lost it outside. It mustn't fall into the wrong hands. Goodness gracious! That bell peal is intolerable. England deserves better. Our gracious Queen, God save her, must have gone deaf. Apparently, this well no longer contains water. I wonder why it has been nailed shut. Very shabby workmanship. This definitely doesn't carry the mark of a craftsman. There. That's where the bottle is. I must have bumped into the well and lost it here. Luckily, I do not appear to have broken anything. What's that? I cannot see properly. I need a light. There's the bottle. At last, I've got it again. It's empty. Now I have everything I need to make a new potion. I must use plenty of that, but the proportion of water must be greater. Potion! There is water coming out of this opening.